Hi everybody, my name is Ronnie Banjarian and I'm a consultant here at Education Elements. I'm a former math teacher turned data scientist turned consultant, and I work with school districts across the US on personalized learning, community engagement, and data-informed strategies. I want to talk to you about innovative ways to design and launch your strategic plan. When we ask districts to describe their strategic plans, sometimes we hear things like boring, outdated, or sitting dusty on a shelf. At EE, we believe that the design and planning process is as important, if not more important, than the final document that you create. We're going to discuss ways that you can innovate in the planning and the launch of your district's strategic plan. How do we design the schools of the future today? We must be innovative in our approach. Otherwise, we'd be designing the same systems and structures that we have all over again. Once you've engaged in the first part of the process, you should have a wealth of data that emerges from surveys, empathy interviews, and family focus groups, as well as things like state test scores and graduation rates. Next, assemble your steering team and start to look for trends in the data by looking at cross-sections of different types of data, as well as cross-sections of your stakeholder groups. Here are some example trends that you might find from reviewing these cross-sections. There are not enough structures to support community wellness and student mental health. There's likely to be substantial growth in the number of school-aged children in the next 5 years. There should be a focus on maintaining a high level of academic programs. There is a desire for additional supports for struggling learners. Step 2. Start to think about articulating why the trends are happening and how it matters. Ask yourself and your teams, why? Why is this trend happening? How? How does this trend matter? What? What questions arise from this trend? Step 3, ideate and wildly brainstorm. Human-centered design thinking is a practice from the design firm IDEO, as well as the Stanford School of Design, and it encourages you at this point to ideate and wildly brainstorm as many ideas as possible, which can be challenging for a lot of us. Anne Manning at the Harvard Extension School believes that at this point you should be clear to your team when you're engaging with divergent thinking or convergent thinking. Divergent thinking is the process of brainstorming and coming up with new ideas, whereas convergent thinking is the process of reflecting on those ideas. And Manning challenges us to create space and spend at least some time just coming up with ideas without judging them and separating that process from the process of evaluating them. One way you might encourage divergent thinking on your teams is to frame the challenges that arise from your trends as "how might we?" questions. This invites your stakeholders to take a seat at the table, roll up their sleeves, and begin to think of solutions collaboratively. Another benefit of this "how might we" framing is that you're inviting multiple solutions. In fact, any solution that could possibly solve the problem. As Manning states, it's not yet time to evaluate whether the solution is feasible or not. These are the challenges that we found in our data. There are not enough structures to support community wellness and student mental health. There is likely to be substantial growth in the number of school-aged children in the next 5 years. There should be a focus on maintaining a high level of academic programs. There is a desire for additional supports for struggling learners. Taking these challenges and reframing them as "how might we?" questions yields "how might we create structures to support community wellness and student mental health? How might we ensure we have space and resources available for the rising number of school-aged children in the next 5 years? How might we maintain a high level of academic programs? How might we provide additional supports for struggling learners?" Hopefully, at this point, you have your "how might we" questions and you've encouraged the wild brainstorming from your community and your teams, and you have an overwhelming number of ideas. With all of that in mind, my question for you is this: how will you implement divergent thinking in your planning process? Thank you so much for watching. For more content from Education Elements, be sure to follow us on Twitter and check out our website.